Hello again, my little Cougar Caravaggios, my little Raphaels from Ross's Point. I hope you're ready and excited for this week's drawing, as excited as we are for springtime and the warm weather that's right around the corner. And as we get started on this week's drawing, I was thinking about what I wanted to do, and I wanted to do something that was kind of cool and adventurous, but also something that's cute too. And fortunately, I had a student send in a recommendation. She said, "Why don't we draw Baby Yoda?" And I thought, well, that's cool because it's from the Mandalorian Star Wars series, and that's full of action and adventure. And also, Baby Yoda is very cute. And I learned that Baby Yoda is not really Baby Yoda. He's actually a character named Grogu. So we're going to draw Grogu because anything's better than Jar Jar Binks. Sorry, I'm kind of showing my Star Wars nerdiness there. So let's forget all that and get into our drawing. Now, to do our drawing of Baby Grogu, we're going to start off by turning our paper the landscape way. That means we're going to turn it off to the side. This is the portrait way, and this is the landscape way. So we're going to turn our paper off to the side, and I'm going to begin by drawing an oval, and I'm going to draw it very, 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 that's right, lightly. You guys do listen. And I'm going to start maybe just above the middle part of my paper. Here's the middle. I'm going to go just a little bit higher, and I'm going to draw, like I said, an oval, and I'm going to make it light until it looks good to me. And when it looks good to me, then I can make it a little bit darker. So again, I start about the middle of my paper and I go just about to the top, and I'm drawing an oval, which is kind of like a long, skinny circle. Now, if you draw a circle, that'll probably work out all right also. So go ahead and draw your circle or your oval and have the bottom of it right about in the middle of the paper and the top of it just about the top edge. After we've drawn that, we're going to draw his body. So I'm going to come all the way down to the bottom of the paper, and I'm going to draw a line that goes just about straight across. Now, mine curls up a little bit on the ends, but it's just about straight across. It's just about at the bottom of my paper, and it is also just about as long as the oval that I drew. After I draw this, I'm going to make two lines that go almost straight up, but when they get closer to the head, they curve in a little bit. So instead of going straight up to the edge, I'm going up and then curling over a little bit. Now, where the head and the body meet, I'm going to draw a big letter C that starts right here, and it comes down almost to the middle of the body. Here's his body. Here's the curve that starts right where the head meets the body and comes almost halfway down. I'm going to do that on both sides. After I've done that, I'm going to draw a parallel line that's about halfway between the bottom of the arm and the head. So you go up about halfway and you draw a line on both sides. And finally, or not finally, but next, I'm going to draw a little letter C here and a backwards letter C right here. And you want to leave a little bit of space in between to show what Grogu is going to be holding. Now I'm going to show what he's holding in his hands. So right from this curve right here, this is his little hand and this is his little hand. So from there, I'm going to go straight up and then a little curve on the top. That's going to show the little mug that he's holding. And then if I put another curve right here, that'll show the opening of the mug. So go ahead and put a straight line here where his hand is, a straight line here. And you can see on the other side of this little mug, that's going to be his thumb. So go ahead and do that now. If I continue this line straight down, and I put a curve that is exactly the same as this one on the bottom. His little mug is all finished. Now if I put a curved line here and a curved line here, that will show where his robe ends and his hands begin. And I don't need this line or this line right here. And fortunately, I drew nice and light, so it's easy to erase this and this. I'm going to put a little cuff on his sleeve. So there's another curved line here and a curved line right here. And to finish his robe, I'm going to put two lines that are a little bit skinnier than my mug. They go straight down to the bottom of his robe. Now I can give him his great big ears. And I'm going to go just about to the end of the paper, and I'm going to draw almost to the bottom of his head and almost to the top of his head. And it's pretty much a straight line. You can give it a little bit of a curve, but it's pretty much a straight line. Once we've got the basic shape of his ears, I'm going to draw another line that goes from the tip and it's not right in the middle. I'm going to go up. Here's the middle. Here's the top. I'll go up maybe about halfway. And we're ready for his face. Not near the top. I know people like to draw eyes near the top because that's really the top feature that you see. So you have the tendency to think, well, it's the top thing that you see. There's eyes and nose and mouth, and the top thing that you see is the eyes, so it must be towards the top of the head. But we're not going to put it on the top. We're going to put it about halfway down, and I'm going to draw two circles about halfway down. They're nice and big. Now I could leave them as just two circles and that would be just fine, but I'm going to draw a straight line along the bottom. And I'm going to cut just a little bit off the bottom of the circle to change the shape slightly. Now if you don't do this, that's just fine. If you want to leave them as two circles, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just going to change it by flattening out the bottoms just a little bit. If I like the shape of his eyes, then I can move on. I'm going to draw just a line right above the eye to show the eyelid. I'm going to start out light and then make it a little bit darker. And another line right here. And it goes all the way from this edge to this edge. And from the inside corner to the outside corner over here. Now I'm going to put a little shading in his eye right now. You don't have to do this right now. If you want to, you can wait and we'll do it with color. But if you want to, you can go ahead and do that now. When his eyes are finished, I'm going to go on to his nose, and all I have to do is make sort of like a letter U. Maybe I'm going to have it curl in a little bit, but it's a little oval. It's just about as big as the space between his eyes, and it's kind of like an oval, but I leave the top open just a little bit. For his smile, it's going to be about halfway between his nose and the bottom of his head, and I'm going to have it starting out like a downward curve. It goes almost straight across, but it curls down just a little bit, but I don't want him to be unhappy, so I'm going to have the corners curl up a little. Now, if you just want to have a nice simple curve that just curves up like a nice smile, that's just fine. In fact, any kind of facial expression that you want to put on your little character is just fine. Now, there's a few more little details that I'm going to put on before I add color. These are completely optional. They're just little details that I think will make them look a little bit better. But like I said, they're optional. You can put them on if you want to, but you don't have to. I'm going to put a few lines, maybe just 2 or 3 lines in his forehead. And then maybe 1, 2, 3 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, because he's got these little bumps on the top of his head. And then to make them look like bumps and not just lines, I'm going to have the outside of my head have a little bit of a curve here. Okay, I'm going to give him, if I haven't done it yet, or I could do it when I add color, but I'm going to give him the collar on his robe. And then right down the middle, I'll draw a line to show the opening. One last detail, I'm going to draw 1, 2 lines in the middle of his hands so that his hands don't look like mittens. And if I put a little bit of curve at the end of each one of these fingers, they'll look like separate little fingers. And like I said, it won't look like he's got little mittens on. And after I've done all that, I think our little Grogu is ready for color. Well, there's my baby Grogu in full color. I had fun drawing him. I hope you have fun working on your drawing. I can't wait to see your drawings. I can't wait till we get together again. And until we do, stay creative, stay safe, and may the force be with you. We'll see you soon.